Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, another day, and the traders think the world is falling apart. I'm getting a little tired of it, but they do have good reason. Let's pull over our charts. So, we really need to see it in notes here. It's still loading the data. Here we go. Okay, so you can see we got this. It's still loading. I'm gonna go wait. Let's grab the links. I think that would be a good use of our time, don't you? Look at this one right here. Especially since it takes a few minutes for people to filter in, doesn't it? Good morning, good morning, morning. Cool. Right. Somebody messaging me telling me that the channel was useful to getting them started, so thank you very much. I'm really happy that that's helped you. That's what we're here for. Alright, and here's this one. Copy. Okay, so anyways, we moved up higher yesterday when the E-mini started taking a puke, and you can kind of see here they took a pretty good puke. But then overnight, some bad Brexit headlines with cabinet members resigning has sent us even higher. So yes, investors are scared, and the sterling is just getting destroyed. Interestingly enough, not a huge move. I mean, it went down a fair amount, but given the volatility in the past few days, it wasn't a huge move down in the euro. But yeah. So we kind of got the currencies working against us. But now the bigger thing, and probably the thing that you guys really want to hear about, I would think. Well, we got a decent number of people watching, but is the bitcoins. Oh my gosh, look at this! Just absolutely decimated yesterday. I mean, this had not happened when I left. It was around here. So they left after I stopped streaming, but man alive, they just got attacked. I don't know any other way to describe it other than that it was just a total disaster over there in Bitcoin. Somebody sold and they just plowed right through that 5,600 and sorry 6,000, and I don't think they're gonna look back. I kind of thought, oh, they'll dip through it and kind of come up to it and have a hard time and come down, and it'll still be slow and frustrating. And no, they just. And I also saw the memory pool. Let's check that. And just split this out. Let's see here. I type in that right? Yes. I think that's right. That's it. Nikki. Okay, so tons after it happened. So here, then just tons of transactions came through. Now they were able to go through it pretty quickly, so that's good for them. But man, huge. So I'm wondering, is this spam? Is this just kind of reverberation effects? Or are people scared and trying to move their money back to the exchange to sell? Because if that happens, man, this get ugly, right? Very ugly. So we'll keep tabs on that. But we have news, of course. Coming up here, it's Thursday. We get core retail sales. In addition to Philly Fed, Empire State Manufacturing Indexes, import prices, which is very important, and of course, unemployment claims as usual on Thursday. So we got about 6 minutes. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of. That's about all for now. So we'll just kind of let people filter in. There's still not very many people watching. But it should be fun. I think so. Well, there's quite a bit of jostling around. This kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened on Tuesday. Wonder where they're planning on taking it. Well, there's the pull. I don't have the squawk going yet, do I? Should fix that.
One minute.
Zero hedge. We are in another tech bubble. It could be. Well, their argument isn't very good so far. They're like, oh, it's in a bubble, but then they're like, oh, but all of the earnings were good.
10 seconds.
It's not that the earnings are good though. It's the future growth expectations that were put on these stocks. People were trading these as growth plays, and all of a sudden they're realizing that they're not growth plays anymore.
Retail sales month on month prior revised down to minus 1%. Ex autos month on month coming in at 7%. New York Fed manufacturing coming in at 23.30. Philly Fed index coming in at 12.9. Import prices month on month coming in at 5%. Export prices coming in.
Okay, that's much higher than expected.
Initial jobless claims
that could move us down.
16,000. Continued jobless claims coming in at 1.676 million. The prior revised to 1.630 million from a prior 1.623 million. Looking at the Philly Fed breakdowns, Philly Fed 6-month index coming in at 27.20. Capex index coming in at 36.10. Employment coming in at 16.30. Fed prices paid coming in at 39.30. New orders coming in at 9.10. And looking at the breakdowns of retail sales, ex autos and gas coming in at 3%. Retail control coming in at 3%. Prior revised down to 3% from a prior of 5%.
Okay, well, almost all of these numbers are good, but it is not moving yet. I would expect us to move down, but you know, there's still these Brexit headlines and stuff in the ways, so that may not happen. In fact, there's an iceberg there where in front of us that's not good. Okay, well, the 5-year did tick down. Move Bitcoin out of the way here. There was a little bit of buying in the E-mini. And I like where the E-mini is at, relatively speaking, for an upswing.
National Bank HPI month on month coming in at minus 0.4% against a flat reading last month, and the year on year coming in at 2.8% against a prior 2.1%.
Okay. Yeah. This is interesting. So obviously the trade didn't work out, and there was somebody pretty big decided to buy at 29. I'm trying to figure out why. What would be okay? Retail sales were 0.8 versus 0.6. That was good. Core retail sales were better than expected. The trade balance is less than expected, which is good.
Standard that Gove turns down Brexit secretary job.
Okay, so there's Brexit headlines going on. Is more important apparently.
Just to repeat that, Gove turns down Brexit secretary job. That's via the Evening Standard.
So that might have been what pushed us up. I'm just a little. I mean, I'm so close to my stop here, and just kind of want to see if they hold it or not. Because there's a good chance that it could turn around here.
UK Conservative lawmaker Rees-Mogg says numbers of letters is growing in number.
Oh man. So there's big guys on both sides of this trying to hold it down.
Mogg says unexpected people putting letters in on May's leadership.
There's a pretty decent battle going on here, guys. So they've traded 4,000 on both sides of this thing. They are having trouble pushing it up further, though. The 5-year could flip around here. Let's see. ZT's definitely got a big bid there, though. I think I'm gonna leave that one up for now. Actually, let's adjust this. Hmm. Yep. Yeah, E-mini being wild. Wild, wild, wild. Okay.
The Rees-Mogg just saying the next PM has to be someone who believes in Brexit.
Thank you. This whole Brexit thing, I mean, I'm not a European. I'm not a European and I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Alright? So that's my addendum to this, my extremely uninformed opinion. It seems really silly and stupid to me to have somebody negotiating a Brexit deal when that person doesn't really want to leave the European Union in the first place. And it's hard to have confidence in that person doing it correctly when they don't really in their heart believe that they should be doing it. And so it is not surprising to me at all that the British are unhappy with the deal that they made. Now, maybe they should just get it over with and just do it even if it's a shitty deal. I don't know. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of hearing about it, though. Okay, well, not a whole lot hit into 29 there. E-minis pushing up, but worse with the treasuries are pushing up too. And when they do it, the offers just completely pull. Yeah, this might take us out, and if that's okay. I don't want to be involved when the market's acting like that, you know. Look at 5. The Sigmas always gives you the -1 when in that case it would have gotten filled. It would have been fine. Seller's still trying a little bit here. With stuff like Wicked, Lightning adoption, and more privacy features.
Conservative lawmaker Henry Smith says he has submitted a letter of no.
So I think what we do here is we just kind of wait for the. Oh no! Britain is falling apart. A lot of this is still pulling, and until they're actually trading, you know, if they're pulling orders, I don't not necessarily want to be involved in that. Obviously, if I had bought where I sold, then that would be a different story. Hold it until they stop. But when it's at this point, they could put the brakes on at any moment and market. You can only market into these. You get a really good chance of just getting caught, you know. Okay, well, they're still buying contracts at 31.5, so that's interesting.
Rees-Mogg says negotiations have given away on all the key points. Peter Prate is speaking in Brussels.
Okay. Well, there you go. Hmm. Okay, so they're absorbing some at 31.5 again. If we'd gotten filled, I think I would be taking it off right now. Does that mean I should buy it here? I think they might come back a little bit more. There's still, yeah, 31. There's a note here. That's probably why this is absorbing. It might not necessarily be the guy that really created the move.
Prate says CQ sees a Q4 rebound in German economy.
Okay. Not quite what I was hoping for at 31, but it's holding at 30.5, so. Okay, and tick up. Well, they seem to be fighting. A lot of size on the 30-year. And they're certainly taking the steps first. Did you see that one? This one ticked up, and it was almost a second later that the 10-year started to buy.
Prate says global economy in China slowed down in 2019.
Okay. Well, it looks like they're going to attack this price again, but there's still a lot absorbing there. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Still.
And just heads up with 10 minutes until the top of the hour, we get the release of Canadian existing home sales month on month for October, an estimate of minus spot 2% against a prior minus spot 4%. German Foreign Minister Maas says important step has been made on Brexit.
Hey, look, they finally held it.
Then the cabinet minister Ledsom says she's not resigning.
Well, that's interesting. We could have gotten filled at 30.5. It went a lot further than you would normally expect, but it is pretty wild trading, you know? Oh, I'm glad I held through that. I wonder if they're going to make another attempt at the highs of the day or not. Oh, man.
ECB's praise says euro area domestic demand remained robust.
This kind of move is super hard to judge because now they're printing a ton at every price. There's just so much interest in this market that it's like almost impossible to know whether which side is going to win. Although I do see the E-mini kind of deserves pointing out too. ES turned around and ZB upticked with 350 on the bid. Well, it's not a huge bid though. The UB still kind of looks pointed up. And what about the ZT? ZT is still has a really strong bid underneath of it, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of interest is going to be coming into this market, so Yeah, it was an okay step up. There's some strong buying in ZB, huh? Yeah, see, they've got. So this is in here from before because we didn't get filled, right? But now in this context, I think we could go through it. So I'm gonna pull it, and if I see some fighting there, then I might take it. Okay, so John does see some spots above us as well. And listen to my stomach today. What's with that? Or is that just my microphone? I don't know. Well, they tick down. That sounds kind of bothering me. Maybe it's my phone.
Just 1 minute now until the Canadian existing home sales month for October, looking for an estimate of minus 2%.
E-mini did recover there a little bit. Look at that. Justin Twinkletoes got a new Sari. What's that mean? And that came back up fast. Man, you need nerves still for this move. I'm feeling like ugh.
Canada existing home sales month coming in at -0.16%.
The E-mini
Recent
gonna start
influences
moving
data
down
show
now.
export orders are stabilizing.
It seems to me that the sellers have a really good context to hit the E-mini hard today. And they're going to want to because there's still kind of this inverse head and shoulders pattern possible. Where is it? Yeah, I mean it's they did a lot of damage to it yesterday, but it's still kind of intact. You need another big down day, and then maybe people start to go, maybe it's not a thing. And even if you say that they destroyed it, then it's definitely down, right? So yeah. See that I took my phone out and that sound stopped. So it must be the FBI spying on me with new technology. It's a different sound. They've changed their interference pattern. I mean I like this trade. Okay, there's a tick up. That one's a positive if they hit into 005. Not quite.
We are just seeing BTPs moving here. We are looking to see if there is any source behind the move.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so there's ZB ticking up to the 10.
Buy.
Jeez. Okay, so they block pot in the 10-year and the 30-year isn't reacting to it yet. They're afraid of 11. Well, let's reset it. Look at that. Maybe it went to a below it. What does block by mean? Block by means a order in larger than 3,000 contracts. Yes. He added one at 11. Well, I do think we could be going a little further.
Another company for me to be placed says ending QE purchases doesn't mean policy tightening.
I think that this could go a lot further. Okay, so Bixby on my phone just woke itself up and turned on Bixby. That's interesting. Trader thinks it's time to take profits, huh? Well, so the one thing that I do see is even through this whole buying up.
Different ball. He's saying chief economic advisor to Salvini says if the league gets a majority in Italy will exit the Eurozone.
Oh my gosh.
Chief economic advisor to Salvini. If the league gets a majority in Italy will exit the Eurozone.
So the one thing that I do think sellers have going for them is that the buying has stalled and they appear reluctant to take prices now. Okay. But I think you got two big things in your favor if you're buying. One is that there's probably going to continue to be some Brexit headlines going out here, and they're likely to be on the bad side. And investors just seem panicked. So there's that. And then on the other side, the E-mini just is primed to be sold here. If they can break through, 2692, it could just be on. So I'm not sure I see a reason to sell yet. Now there's a big bid there in ZN. Given my reading of the flow here, I think I'm going to hold it. We could potentially have taken one there at 01. Okay, that went through it. Okay.
seeing Brexiteers, Fox and Mordaunt said to stay in UK cabinet. Borghi asks if EU will have courage to sanction Italy.
Sanction Italy? What? This thing in the E-mini is got me a little. Okay, I thought that the E-mini was gonna sell, but that was too much. That was a little bit too much for the pre-market, you know? Hmm. Gosh. And they're still having a problem making another new high, even though the E-mini is selling really hard. So, okay. And that the 5 years forming a zipper here. So I think that at least a few are taking some profits here. Man alive. Gonna take it again?
Riot says oil price drop is positive area if sustained.
Yeah. Well, this is a spot where I really wish that I had two contracts and I could have taken one off at O2, you know? Because I would really like to see. I really think we could move up to 035. But, you know, what just happened there was not positive, right? I got ticked down and the profit taking there. I think we better take this.
just having a conversation with Harry on the Borgie comments here that I've crossed. He has spoken in the past of this rhetoric, talking about leaving the euro, and that has been reined back in by fellow colleagues. And we will keep an eye out for any comments denying or shooting down these Borgie comments.
So we can't get 500 to buy into us at 015, but we can get 7,000 to sell into 01, huh? Well, there was a big one. We should be faster on these. I really like to be slow because you never know. There we go. Like, sometimes it just continues through, and we're really patient on that one, and we sat through some adversity, and it worked out for us, didn't it? But then when it gets up there and it's like, could have taken it at 020, so could have gotten another tick out of it, and I didn't do it. It comes down, we could get back in, and I think you might want to get back in at some point. But I don't know, that drop in the E-mini was a lot. That was a lot pre-market, so there's a good chance they're gonna buy it now. Igor is actually short. Yeah. It's interesting. It's unfinished up at the top. How's Bitcoin been doing while we've been gone? Well, things do not look too positive over there, do they? Oh man. They're still just kind of skidding along the bottom. I think that there could be more to that one. Man. I hope it's so. Let's see what else we got here. Ace of Trades. He is short 26.92. Well, that really worked well for him. Yep, he already got his trade and left. Good job, man.
Carney called banks on the market and the pound. CA saying we're in regular contact with banks given the situation.
Who says that? What did I just say? That who says what? Oh, that was a guy in YouTube that was short that, and he already took his profit and quit for the day. That was Ace Trades that said that. But what was I gonna say? He was talking about Bitcoin, wasn't I? Well, okay, there's a lot absorbed there at 005. If they come back down, it's 5, but it's not pulling. Oh, yeah. Well, it was a really good sign for it to that it was stopping, wasn't it? When I took that trade, where did I take it from? 31.5. Reserves got that. That's the way I see it too. There's a good reason to believe that this level in ZN is going to hold, but there's not actually volume in here, and there's icebergs on the offer. So whatever does happen, and I'm sure that that bid, there will be a lot there too. ZN needs shorts if they want to get 04, 05, 06, 085. Okay, so they bought through there. Nope, don't want to take this when the E-mini is about to go. Okay, here we go. Sure enough, people buying on the open. Treasuries just kind of holding through all of this. Okay. And look at the bubbles that my ES chart is printing. It's pretty insane. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Now that we're to the other end of this range, I'm kind of half tempted to sell it, but it's a crazy world out there, folks. Normally, after a move like that, I would be super FOMO, like, oh man, it totally did go up, and If I had taken a trade, I probably would have taken it long, even though I felt like it was a coin flip, and I'd be feeling super FOMO. But I'm like really glad that I have nothing to do with this thing right now. Holy crap! Everybody in chat is just like, yeah. Trader still thinks that it's too slow, huh? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. It looks the same as any other ladder I've ever seen. You might get different data. I'm using Rhythmic, it might be offset a little bit, but I'd say that it's moving more than faster than I can look and interpret it. Wow. Movement is super disorganized in treasuries too. Some serious divergences here in the E-mini cumulative delta. Oh, you still want to go long here? I think that if this... This looks like a really good setup for a level break, but shying away from it. Yeah, what a mess. What a mess is right. I'm gonna take off my me so you can see that the Vista chart. That is nuts. And look at all the bubbles there.
A bit of Brexit news to start us off. Some quotes from the Times reporting that the friend of Michael Gove saying he has been offered the Brexit secretary role.
Okay. Yeah, the bubbles are absorption.
Block sell.
Okay. So the bubbles mean that a lot of contracts traded into that price and it didn't go through. So it's an indication of large players on the bid or the offer, right? Like passive players. So they tend to be, now of course here in the E-mini on the open there's always lots of bubbles, but they tend to be like, price tends to bounce off of them. Let's see if this works.
EU policymaker momentum on financial.
I've had really good trades with this kind of entry, and I've had really bad trades with this kind of entry. You know? So many times where I sold into that, and then that was as far as it went. The fill, at least, is good, right? But you would prefer to see it tick down another tick or two. Especially since the 5 years seems to be on a real tear. You know? The E-mini is kind of buying, though. It seems to be where they're at right now. F.
More from Jaquindos that the bank stress tests don't fully capture full speed aboard on the euro area banking sector.
Okay, so sellers are making a push down here. All right, buyers kind of stopped that there. So now we got this thing right here.
More from Sam Coates via the time. I just think it's wrong to say that he has turned it down. Michael being offered the Brexit secretary role.
Okay. So that was a really strong buying impulse.
More from Jaquindos using a recent cut capital further.
So that was a really strong buy impulse. Treasuries still having a hard time at evens.
In Italy news now, Borghi comments not getting a denial from himself in a tweet.
So that's good, right? I don't know who this guy is, and I don't completely understand the situation, but it sounds to me like there was a headline that the market really didn't like, and he's denying that headline, essentially. Hmm. Okay. Watching the robots trade this is just kind of funny, to be honest.
Italy News now, Anza reporting from Paris on its excellent banks on spread. Stephen Swinford from the Telegraph now, Evening Standard, did report that Gove had turned down the offer to become the new Brexit secretary. He's being told that's not the case. It's still under consideration, saying we'll know for sure in a few hours either way.
There goes the yes. Hey, Mayan! Keep going. No, don't stop there. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So the open was 30, so gotta be careful about the open. If the E-mini can make it above the VWAP here.
But if US Equity News now, reporting that BlackRock is also sell rate.
So the cumulative delta has not actually broken out in the E-minis, so they may not be done. They still look a little coiled up. Like that move up did not relieve the pressure. Certainly moved things in treasuries, but the delta is not making new highs, you know. It's certainly easier for them to buy than it is to sell, isn't it? Well, that's not a good sign for us.
Now reports that the Scottish Parliament is to vote on the Brexit deal before the UK Commons.
We just did not get the right price. You've got like a 4 or 5 tick range here that's moving based on what the E-mini does, and we got right smack dab in the middle of it.
Of equity news now, reporting that HSBC will fund our billion pay fund.
Okay, so is Spooz gonna break out here this time? That looks
Not
bullish.
From BBC's Laura Kuenssberg, a former minister who was very loyal, has had it. They're saying, although as no one wanted this, May would lose a confidence vote. Been very pretty useless.
Nobody's happy with that lady, are they? Okay, that's looking really good.
President Trump now tweeting, looking to universities will they study what highly conflicted Bob Mueller and his gang Democrats gone to just.
That was a really strong buying impulse. And I'm wondering if I can get filled here at just the +2. And then
10 minutes now until we get the US business inventories for September. That's month to month expected at 0.3% against prior 0.5 in the range of -1%, 4%. Top of the hour, expect to hear from Fed Quarles will be appearing before the Senate banking panel. Semi testimony on the provision.
nope. Okay. Okay. So now buyers seem to have it again. Seem. I should say seem, I'm not sure. Hmm. This is getting stressful. Okay, so there's a bubble there. Seller's actually pushing quite a bit beyond it, trying to stop it out. Okay. So I know somebody was asking about the bubbles earlier. When you see a bubble in the E-mini, that is very often a good signal that it's going to reverse. Not like guaranteed or anything, but it's a pretty good signal. I think I better just take the one since they're being so stubborn. If it falls, we could come to 30. What is considered an iceberg on the ES?
Borgie denying, saying if the league already at the
ATR's extreme for NQES double yesterday's. Wow. This thing is pretty crazy. Crazy is about the only words I have to describe what I'm seeing right now. Now, the good news is that, at least in Treasuries, it doesn't look like anything's actually driving it anymore. They're just kind of moving around because of the E-mini. Because there was a little bit of a stronger impulse.
minutes now until we get the US business inventories of September. It's again month to month, 0.3% expected against our 0.5.
Well, now that this price is kind of even, I think that if I had held, I could maybe, in fact, right there would have been it. There's still a good chance that we range back up to here, though, you know? That previous high that they put in the E-mini is not, they're not really going for it yet. There you go. There's the one tick. I'm at 0 right now, right? Oh, no, I've got some profit. Good deal. Okay, a little too much being taken off there.
One minute.
Now 31 is being... Somebody, they could even go for more. Can't see your face. Oh yeah, I turned it off so that you guys can see this.
Vice chairman of the Conservative Party has stepped down.
I kind of feel like the what's going on in the E-mini is we really want to see.
Another tweet now from President Trump saying the only collusion is that of the Democrats with Russia and many others.
You know, he didn't tweet like
10 seconds.
yesterday, right? Not much yesterday.
0.3% as expected for the US business inventories month to month. Looking at the breakdown of the
Okay.
inventory sales ratio, 1.34 months unchanged from the prior, while the business sales at 0.4% against the prior of 0.5%.
Well, the way that the E-mini is acting now,
Information now that
and the
Oil
5-year
Steve,
says... Go ahead.
Vice chairman of the Conservative Party has quit.
Oh my gosh. So that headline, I mean, I don't know much about UK politics, but I kind of thought that would maybe cause some more reaction than what is. Suppose they gave you a good price here, you could buy 31. Or no, so that move down was significant, and the 5-year really came up off of it as well. So there was a real change in the price action, but now it's almost completely flipping around just like that. And in fact, treasuries are getting a little lower. I think somebody got trapped there. New daily low throughout the SPY bottoming out today. Well, they can still buy today. That's the thing. I didn't quite get my 30. It sucks not being in this. But I would not have made the right decision if I had stayed in anyways. Like if I had stayed in, I probably would have taken it off at the 2. Or maybe the 3. Maybe I'd even be taking it off right now. The thing is that the E-mini is still in this range and the treasuries have come down a little bit. So the correlation has disjointed a little bit. You know, it's just this range is kind of hard for me to play. It's hard for me to know what it's going to do in here. The 5-year definitely sold though, but there's an iceberg. Ugh. See what I mean? Like if it's a slow day. I mean, when it's a slow day, it really sucks because that's when they play the tricks on you. But let's just say it's just like a normal day, and maybe there was some news that day, you know, order flow is a lot easier to read because there's only so many people out there. And you can kind of determine based on the volume that, hey, an iceberg X big has a really good chance of holding because there's just not enough orders to push through it. But in trade like this, 10,000 contracts could pop out of nowhere and it wouldn't even necessarily be a thing. Like it might not tell us anything, you know? Because another 10,000 could show up 30 seconds later. So not complaining, of course, is just kind of why I played it the way that I did. And maybe it was the right thing, maybe it wasn't, but it's okay. See, the E-mini is just...
The Reuters sources piece now that the US Treasury is said to be in Thursday Saudis roles in the killing of Khashoggi. Again, Reuters.
Oh, well, that's good. Good deal. But the movement in the E-mini right now looks incredibly disorganized. Incredibly disorganized. And right back up. So others are definitely having their way with her right now. Kind of wonder though. Let's try it. I think what's happening here in the E-mini is really negative, but buyers aren't necessarily giving up. I see the delta is negative, so sellers are winning. I guess they have found a battle zone here. Look at that. Yeah. Notice that impulse buying didn't move things as much as the little, now we're getting just tiny pullback back down and they're reacting to it. So I think that they're scared right now. It doesn't mean that they won't hold it, but it looks like that the buyers have more to fear than the sellers. Yeah. Tick. Not quite dropping here. Okay. A little bit stronger of a bid now. People buying into it. There was a little buying bubble right here. Yeah, okay.
Stephen Swinford with an exclusive here. Michael Gove will only become Theresa May's Brexit secretary if he can renegotiate her deal, and the November 25th EU summit is scrapped. He is still weighing up whether to quit the cabinet. So again, that was from the Telegraph, that Michael Gove will only become the Brexit sec if he can renegotiate her deal, and the November 25th summit is scrapped.
Okay. So it's kind of doing the same thing that it gave me when I did the +1 before, isn't it? But I think they might have a little bit more in this. And plus, that was the wrong decision last time, wasn't it? There is 62 here at 005. Watch it closely. Correlation's not. See that? Hey, look at that.
Brexit news now. Robert Peston from ITV tweeting he can't find a Conservative MP who thinks that the 48 no is already with the 1922's Brady. Surprisingly, people are telling him that they will vote against her if.
So, are they saying that they're going to replace May? Is that what's going on here? Let's see if I can find some more, like, understand a little bit better what's going on here. Notice that there's been icebergs down here. So it's interesting though that they're all mostly buying. Have a pretty consistent group of people watching today. Thank you for watching. So we're coming up. I usually quit in 15 minutes. So, and we're stuck in this range, and I don't know if we wanted to risk another one here. Although I did pretty good in that range. I've been doing a lot better in the ranges, haven't I? Like, not the slow ranges, but the really volatile ones. I've been able to take, one or two many times and get a good win rate on those. So that kind of makes me happy. And this trade right here, when it bought, that one was good. Obviously, it was worth more, but that's okay. This one sucks that okay, like the news came out, the news was good. I saw the order flow backing it up. I went short, and then some Brexit headlines came in. So, you know what? That happens. I probably should have factored in better that the Brexit news was going to be so influential. I don't think that I needed to give it the 4. I mean, like, it went 4 against me and then it came back. I probably should have considered myself lucky and have not, taken it off then at that point. Like, wait to see the impulse beyond my entry price first before getting back in and saying, yeah, okay, I do want to be short. Because if I was short and I thought I was going to go for a bunch, then it's okay for me to get out, break even, and then get back in and 1 or something like that. I think that's how I want to play that one in the future. But the E-mini is still incredibly disorganized. Just look at this thing right here. That's just lots of zigzags and higher lows and lower highs, and it's all over the place. So I think, though, mostly buying through here. Seems like buyers still want to take it for some reason. So we maybe if we close the day up, that's going to be super positive. Super positive. And this today kind of has crescendo selling written all over it to me. Like, the headlines are just so bad. I'm not saying that this is like it's going to be higher for the rest of the year or anything, but I think that there's a really good chance that we get some sort of buying pullback of some sort, and that buying pullback could could be really positive. Kind of just have to see how the chart takes it. Anyways, so there's that. And then, of course, the Bitcoin. So again, I want to say, for those of you guys, if you haven't checked out the Patreon, I make a post every day, and the public can see the post 3 days later. Subscribers get it that day, but the public can see it 3 days later. And my notes from yesterday in particular were very prescient, I want to say. Was before things really fell apart, and the indicator has been saying that was going to happen. So if you're interested in the crypto space, I would say 100% I would recommend the subscribing to the Patreon. And I also give other stuff, like I write things. I would even be willing to write stuff to write Ninja Trader indicators for subscribers. But then, even if you're not interested in crypto, I would still subscribe, because everybody likes making money, right? And this indicator is just amazing. Well, it's not even an indicator, it's a valuation model, but it's just amazing how effective it has been this year. It said buy at 6, it said sell at 10. It's saying that it could go much, much further. And it's just been spot on the whole year. And while everybody else in the crypto space has been saying, oh, there's a consolidation pattern, and I think it's going to break out to the upside, and all of this and all these sorts of things, and trying to guess what's going to happen based off of technical analysis, we've been able to see the valuation and the corresponding order flow to get really good reads, both short-term and long-term, about where Bitcoin's going to go. So that's my plug for the Patreon. Sorry for being so long-winded about it today, but when I was watching Bitcoin going down yesterday and knowing that the indicator called it so well, it kind of made me feel bad that there's only the 20 subscribers that we have that knew. I think that this needs to get wider distribution. It could really help some people. And also, my one last plug up, we've got 20 subscribers, and it's been that 20 for the most part. I mean, maybe we get 1 or 2 move and come in every month, but it's been consistent at 20 for almost a year now. So the subscribers definitely feel like they're getting their money's worth too. So it was great. Anyways, Friday, do we have news Friday? Well, we have final CPI for Europe And we have industrial production, but nothing like super huge. But given how volatile the week has been, I'm sure that we're going to have some volatile trade tomorrow as well. So we'll see how the week closes out. I don't think that I think I took too big of a loss on Tuesday. Let me see. No, that's wrong. You have to do it in Chrome. It doesn't work in Brave. Yeah. See, we lost too much on... Oh, no, we don't want to count the 9th, but we lost too much on the 11th. Wait, how was that? 11/11. That was Sunday. Oh, I don't know, but that's not that's everything, not ZN. Let's refresh that. Okay, that's right. So we're actually up on the week. But we took a beating on
10 minutes now until we get the
9th.
gas storage change. Be a build of 33 BCF against a prior build of 65 BCF.
Took a beating on that day. I'll pull it up here for you guys here in a second. I just want to get a bigger. Yeah. So you had 2 days where I was, well, so there was those 2 days where I felt like my decision making was like really off, you know? So I had a couple of days that were bad. These were really good. I was doing really good up until this point. If I go a little bit further back, I think we can include October too. I'm still super inconsistent right now, but I'm doing better than I have been. I'm getting runs at least, but it's still overall down. Need to limit those losses on the bad days. See, this was good, and then I went through this time period where I don't know if I was healthy or what the deal is, but I just made like super poor decisions, you know? And then even this week was like, yeah, well, it's too hard to show, but even this week it was like too many bad trades. Like I bet my win percentage is like 40. Oh, but my win percentage is actually higher. It's just that my winners, average winning trade, and average losing trade. See, my winners aren't as big as my losers right now. That's my problem. So I'm holding on to losers a little bit too much. That's why my win rate is getting a little better, but the profit's not. So needs work, but we're getting better. We're getting better. So yeah, thanks for listening to that whole spill. I'm gonna, well, we still got 10 minutes, so I'm gonna leave the charts up so that we have the recording. But I'm gonna post the notes, and then after I'm done posting the notes, I have to go and I'll shut the stream down. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Now would be a good time to put them in the chat, or even if you just want to, call me stupid or something, that would be fine too.
towards now the UK is to scrutinise the capacity market ruling with the Commission. 3 minutes now until we get the weekly EIA nat gas storage change, again expected to be a build of comments now. Fed's crossing. The Fed is working on a modernized. Fed is near the rules for foreign banks. 1 minute now till we get the nat gas storage. Ten seconds. Build of 39 BCF, a build of 39 BCF. Looking at the breakdown, the East and nat gas stocks were up 4, while Midwest up 11, Pacific up 1, South Central up 25, while the South Dome Cavern was up 19. There's confirmation now from the earlier Reuters. US has 17 Saudis for the filling up. Comments as well from the IMF urging the EU and UK to avoid a cliff edge over Brexit. Surely Brexit would be the biggest risk to the UK outlook. Christopher Hope tweeting a Westminster rumour that Chris Greeling and Penny Mordaunt are tipped to resign by the end of the day. Again, Christopher Hope from the Telegraph, a rumour that Chris Greeling and Penny Mordaunt are tipped to resign by the end of the day. Both Grayling and Mordaunt are said to have voiced their concerns in the cabinet meeting last night, both regarded as strong Brexiteers. LBC reporter now that Prime Minister May is said to be holding a press conference at 5 o'clock today. LBC reporter saying that Prime Minister May is said to be holding a press conference at 5 o'clock London.
Okay, well, that was quite the flush there in the E-mini that we just witnessed. So I'm glad that I stuck around and recorded, even though I didn't trade it. You know, it's kind of funny because it was actually only worth 4 ticks there. Well, I guess it was more than 4 ticks because we were a little bit below 119, weren't we? I was kind of sitting there saying, well, you know, I can see this is a spot to buy. There's definitely support here, but I don't know if they're going to come out the top or out the bottom, so I'm not going to take it. And it's too close to my time frame, and you never know how long it's going to take them. But it sure was a good trade if you really thought they were going to move lower, wasn't it? So, man, what chaos, just utter destruction. This is not your normal, pullback. I still don't believe that this is just a pullback. It's way too... They're scared about... I mean, today is the first day where I'm looking at the selling, and I'm like, there is real reason for them to be concerned. Because what's happening over in the UK right now is going to hurt their long-term economic growth. Ultimately, I think it might be a good thing for them, but in the short term, it's not a good thing at all. This volatility and chaos around the process of it is not good, and so it's totally makes sense that that equity traders here in the U.S. would be a little scared and flying to safety in treasuries and moving us higher. Now I don't know if we're ever going to bottom this year or what the deal is, but this inverse head and shoulders that we were talking about, I think that was pretty hurt today. So you could look for a double bottom now, perhaps, but if it is a head and shoulders, it's super skewed. So I don't think it's that pattern anymore, and so it seems like that the Bears knew that was in the cards and made sure to push us down. Anyways, so the notes are up on the Patreon, and thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna turn on the camera here. If you're watching on Twitch, I've added Igor to the host list, and he's streaming right now. So I would recommend going over and watching him because he's a much better trader than I am, and he's throwing around a lot more money too. So it's definitely something to watch. And I'm actually gonna stop in and just hear what he's saying before I head out. But I'm gonna shut down the stream now. So I will see you guys tomorrow.